Hello, welcome to Cinephile Entertainment. I'm the Cinephile critic, and today I'll be reviewing this movie. It's Bath. Not Bath. You're not a wild animal. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is directed by J.A. Bayona and stars Reese Dallas Howard as Claire, Chris Pratt as Owen, Daniela Pinder as Zia, Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm, and Justice Smith as Franklin Webb. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom sort of picks up where the last Jurassic World sort of ended with the demise of the Indominus Rex. And so in this particular one, a very similar situation is happening like happened in the first one, but instead of they are engineering these DNAs to be an attraction for a park. There are a set of people that want to extract the DNA from these dinosaurs and basically merge certain dinosaurs together in order to produce a weaponized dinosaur. And Owen and his team are trying to basically stop that from happening. That whole idea of dinosaurs being weaponized and being trained killers to work for their masters, that has not gone away, but it's just evolved in a different form. So instead of it being a state or a country military option, now it's kind of open to the wider world, and it's kind of like a black market thing. There's a little bit of a changing of the formula in terms of where the T-Rex is usually seen as the hero of this film. They finally give the spotlight to Velociraptor Blue, who kind of stood out of the pack. What you have is you have this story coming full circle again. When you consider the original Jurassic Park film and when it came out and the magic that it captured, and then you had the sequel. Some people didn't like the sequel. The sequel was massively downgraded in terms of critics than obviously the first one. But I actually really like the second Jurassic Park. I actually really liked it because it's one of those things is, where do you go from having a park with animals that are extinct? Well, the next phase you're gonna kind of natural progression you're gonna go into, especially when it's concerning humans, is what Jurassic Park 2 is. Yes, there is plot holes, but I feel more or less that particular sequel makes a lot of sense. So the first Jurassic Park 2, and you have now this Jurassic World 2. And it's very much similar. It's almost, the story I will say is almost identical, but they do switch it up a little bit. And I find that very interesting. I will call it, how books has a, go through a revised version. So you have a book that came out in the, I don't know, the let's say 1970, okay? And that subject is still looked at, still delved in today. So they will have a revised version for, let's say, 1980. And then we'll have another revised version, 5 years later after that. This is kind of like the revised version of the sequel of the original Jurassic Park. And I find that very interesting, which basically means it is a natural progression of where you can take this film, because there's nowhere else to take it apart from what they did, because they had a chance, when they rebooted the series, to do a different sequel. And they realized they couldn't do a different sequel, because the sequel that came earlier is probably how it would go. So this is a revised version, which is interesting, because I think in movies, I don't know if I've seen reboots. Reboots have happened very, very, very often. But I have not seen a revised version of a film, and I don't think that this is a reboot of the original sequel, I do think that this is a revised version. I think they came back, they looked at the drawing board, they thought, what can we do with it? What we're going to keep, what we're going to throw away? How we're going to do the sequel? How we're going to do the sequel for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? And they kind of just done what the first sequel was originally, but as they changed it, made it a bit modern. Yeah, but it's very much similar. But I feel that the main characters really did a really good job in terms of moving the story forward. It was easier to latch onto them in the beginning. You know what Owen's like, you know what Claire's like, and they have a good chemistry on screen together. And those two actors really make their characters pop, and it makes this film work a lot more. Frankly, it was a comedy relief, and to be honest, I personally don't think that he worked as well as a comedy relief character. And I think Zia she was just too much. She just needed to be contained. Her type of personality just needed to be toned down just a little bit, because it didn't make sense in terms of what this film is. Now, one of the things I would say about this film is I love the way how it was directed. There are certain parts, especially towards the second act and definitely in the third act, the way the style that they have, the way how the camera is set up, the color patterns and the color schemes. I didn't think they were going to do something like that, especially in a film like this. But they did, and I loved it. I loved the way how the camera was framed in certain scenes in this film. First act, it's kind of like sort of a bog standard type of way of getting the story going. So there's no really investment. You kind of know there's shady stuff happening, whatever. My thing now is I kind of know what the film is. I just want to see how the journey unfolds, and that is what intrigues me. And I felt that they done it really well. To have an artistic spin on this film, I thought was quite interesting, because usually, action films, they're not necessarily artistic. And this one, I'm not saying it's not artistic as, something like Hereditary, or the way how Hereditary is filmed, but there was a bit of, there was a process in there that was slightly different to how most action films get filmed. I like some of the I like some of the scene setup. I like the way how some of the camera angles were, how they were moving according to the background and the props that were on screen. There was better scenes and better direction in this film than there was in the first film. Into the second act, this film was giving me all types of Indiana Jones vibes. I was loving that vibe. You see in the third act, really, maybe some people should think about putting it in a horror film, because I think that Dinosaur, which is like a 2.0 version of the Indominus Rex, would be a great addition to horror films. I really think that probably could happen, because the way how this dinosaur acts in the third act, the Indominus Rex, yeah, that can scare a lot of people in the night. So maybe, who knows, there might be a dinosaur horror film coming out and starring the Indominus Rex 2.0. There was more times in this film that I smiled. I never laughed like ha ha ha, like full out laugh. But there was times that, it brought a smile to my face, and there was times that it made me jump. And that is why I will be rating Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom E for entertaining. Now, have you seen this film? What did you think about this film? I would love to know your opinions, and thank you for watching my review, even though my review is late. I am so late. This is probably out of cinema. Yeah, I'm really late with this review, but I just thought that I would just review it and put it out so you guys know what I think, what was my personal opinion about it. I would love to know your personal feelings about it. But outside of the first Jurassic Park, what other dinosaur movies do you like? My favorite dinosaur movie is The Land Before Time. So let's get this conversation started. And thank you for watching my review. If you liked what you saw, then please subscribe. If you're thinking, hang on, wait girl, wait, I need more, I'm not just going to subscribe to anybody, then hopefully I will see you again. And remember, until next time, keep safe. Bye.